I am trying to find out a couple of things. One, if there is a danger to human health in Lake Conway where the spill happened, do you guys, are you responsible for putting up signage?
You mean as far as fish consumption?
Fish consumption or just people going into the area?
Well, you know, there has, if it were, for instance, the air, that you know that you're talking about, because when you look at Lake Conway, and I'm not giving you the runaround. It's just you know the answer to your question is not a simple yes or no. It's if you're looking at the lake water, for instance, and since it's not a drinking water source, then ADEQ, the Arkansas Department of Environmental Quality, would have jurisdiction over what happens, you know, with the water. Or game and fish might have jurisdiction over, for instance, as the testing for the fish.
Well, they told me to call you.
Okay, well, we would put up a fish consumption advisory if the fish were contaminated.
Who would test the fish to determine that?
It would either be Game and Fish or it would be ADQ. We don't test the fish. We would just take the results of testing done by other agencies and evaluate whether or not the fish are contaminated and post fish consumption advisories. It would more than likely be a fish consumption ban, and if that were the case. But at this point, what we're looking at is the water, because you know if the water's not contaminated, then the fish, you know, it would be reasonable to assume that if there's no contamination in the water, that there wouldn't be in the fish as well.
So are you guys doing the testing of the water too?
No, that ADQ is doing the testing of the water.
Are you familiar with? There was a memo that went out that basically, in the memo, ADQ was trying to decide if they were going to do split samples with Exxon, and it was kind of like it was a debatable question. Do you know if that indeed happened?
No, I don't know. Have you looked on the ADQ's website to look to see if there are test results posted there? All of the air sampling and I think the water sampling has been posted on ADEQ's website. I am not aware of whether or not they made the decision to do split sampling or not. But if they did, then chances are that all those results are posted on ADEQ's website.
Okay. Well, are you guys aware that this is not a crude oil spill? That this is actually tar sands bitumen?
We have information about some of the components of it. Its name, you know, I've heard its name bantered around where people have used this thing. They're interchanging the name. I am not. You know, I try to look to see what it is that is actually in the analysis of, you know, if you can call it crude oil, you can call it tar sands, you can call it whatever, but what you're looking at is what are the components of the whatever it was that spilled.
Well,
and we have been looking at that, yes.
Well, if it's just crude oil, it wouldn't have a lot of the things in it that if it's, you know, it's.
Well, sir, even crude oil has, you know, from one crude oil to the next. The general definition of crude oil, it's not necessarily, you know, crude oil is a mixture of all sorts of petroleum products, and I'm sure you know that. But it's so when you say crude oil, it's not, you know, that's just kind of a generic. So you look at specific components of what was actually going through the pipe, and you know, it may very well be that what's going through the pipe is. You know, from one time to another, it may be not exactly the same. You know, crude oil is something that comes out of the ground and is diluted, and so that it'll flow through the pipe, and all of those different things that make up exactly what it was that was spilled.
Well,
and so that's kind of what I'm looking at is that I'm not so as concerned about any particular name as what is in the product itself.
Well, I mean, I had a scientist on my radio show Thursday night, and he basically said that, you know, to call this crude oil is a misnomer.
And you know, that's his opinion, and at this point, I'm not going to debate that with anybody, and it's just that, you know, if you have a specific question about the health department's role in this, that's fine. If you're asking some general information, and you know, I'm not going to talk about, you know.
Well, here I have a specific question then. I mean, do you think it's the health department's responsibility to make people aware that it is indeed tar sands bitumen, which has, you know, VOCs in the air and in the.
And sir, who are you again, sir?
I'm Rod Bryan.
And you are with?
I'm with Rod Bryan.
Okay, so you're not. You said you were associated with some radio show.
I have a radio show. My radio show is called Textophagus.
Okay. Hey, it's the information that both EPA and Exxon-Mobil have put out about the information that is contained in the product that was released. You know, it's public information.
Well, Exxon-Mobil's name, if it's at the top of the list, it means absolutely nothing to me. I'm trying to find out if.
Well, EPA was if you understand the Unified Command System, EPA is is the lead agency in this response process.
Well, then why
it's the Environmental Protection Agency.
Well, when I called the Unified Command number, it was the Exxon-Mobil media line, and they asked me when I said, "Is this Unified Command?" They didn't even seem to know what that meant.
Well, that's unfortunate because there is a unified command processor. I mean, it's if you were to look at the emergency response, and it's ESF 10, you will see that the Environmental Protection Agency is the lead agency there. And it's the Environmental Protection Agency, is ADQ, is the local authorities, which at this point is the city of Mayflower, the county of Faulkner, and the primary responsible party, which is Exxon-Mobil.
Well,
but the lead is the Environmental Protection Agency.
Well, so out of all those organizations, the responsible party, as far as you know, for putting a marcation of jurisdiction, then, is the Environmental Protection Agency.
Yes, it's the lead agency for ESF 10 is the Environmental Protection Agency.
And so, if there's no notification anywhere around there, they're the ones that I need to talk to.
Yes, you need to. You need to talk to when you call that Unified Command number. And I don't know what number you've gotten, but the Unified Command number asks for the Environmental Protection Agency, a on-site commander.
On-site commander.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll do that.
And then hopefully because you're going to get all sorts of people answering, like any organization, you're going to get people answering the phone who may or may not know exactly what it is you're talking about. But if you ask for a specific person, ask for the EPA on-site coordinator or on-site commander. Okay. And it'll be the federal on-site coordinator or on-site commander. All right. They have lots of different acronyms that they may call it, but essentially it's the EPA person who's in charge.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.